Hey everyone, this is Miss Valentine, and you are watching the What Science Class Do I Take Next Year presentation. We are going to walk through all the course options as well as some of the requirements that you have for graduation and some things to plan for if you plan on going to college. In general, you need 3 credits of science to graduate. That's the minimum requirement. At least one of those has to be a life science. Everyone has to take biology, and that will count as your life science credit. You have to have 1 physical science credit, and that could be either the class physical science or physics, chemistry, material science, or geology. And then you also have to have 1 advanced science, and that could include physics, ecology, PBS, HBS, AP environmental science, geology, material science. Engineering does not count as a science course. Colleges like to see at least 4 credits of science, including chemistry, and if you're planning on majoring in science in college, they also like to see physics on your transcript as well. Keep in mind that you can take more than 1 science class in a school year. If you have your course request form in front of you, you'll notice a part that looks something like this, where you would put in the English, math, science, and social studies requests. And then you can also put in additional science classes as electives. So technically, I guess you could take up to 4 science classes, though I don't know anyone who ever has taken that many. I do know people who have taken 3 science classes at the same time. So it is an option if you are really interested in getting some science on your transcript. Now, you should have received a form like this, or very similar to this from your teacher. If you didn't, you can probably find it by going to this slideshow in Schoology and clicking on the link that is in this slide here. So when you go to the presentation, you can find it there. On this form, the first few sections are just kind of getting your current information on there, and that will help you plan out which classes you want to take and also be a good document for you to show your teacher when you go to discuss what class or classes you want to take in the future. So pause this video and fill out the first several sections of that. Essentially fill out the entire form except for the shaded part down here because you'll fill that in as we're going through the classes in the next slides. Again, pause the video while you fill it out. Here are the science courses at Westerville South. If you take a look at the ones on the right, those are your advanced science classes, and the ones on the left are the general classes you might have taken as a freshman or sophomore. Those that are highlighted in white are college credit available classes. They're advanced sciences where you can earn college credit at the end of the course. Just a reminder, engineering does not count as one of your 3 science credits, but you can take that as a science elective. Those of you who are in physical science, you are going to take biology this next year, so you'll want to put that down on your registration form, although you can also take any of the other advanced sciences as an elective. If you're in biology this year, the typical path is to go to chemistry next. However, if you feel like you want an extra year of math before you go into chemistry, think about taking geology, zoology, or ecology instead, just to give you that extra year of science. You can get your advanced science out of the way, and then chemistry can be your physical science, your junior year or senior year, depending on where you are at that point. So we're going to talk about each of these classes in more detail. The physical sciences have 4 different general options, and then the advanced sciences have a number of options as well. And then in the life sciences category, there are 3 general classes and 4 advanced class options, or I guess it would be 5 if you consider these 2 different classes. Here are some optional pathways that you could consider if you are a freshman or sophomore. The typical pathway is to go from biology to chemistry to physics, and then ecology, zoology, or geology as an extra course. So that is just an optional way you could do the general courses. If you're interested in a healthcare career, the health pathway would be something to consider. You start with the principles of biomedical science and then continue on from there. We'll talk about those classes in the coming slides. The engineering pathway starts with Intro to Engineering and Design, and you could sign up for that class and then take other ones after that. The IB program, I noticed there's one missing here. At South, we offer IB sports and exercise science, along with biology, chemistry, and physics. And all of those courses are 2-year courses. So when you sign up, you're signing up for both your sophomore and junior year or your junior and senior year. If you're interested in the IB program, talk to your teacher about it because there is a whole lot more information that goes along with those courses. Biology and honors biology are only an option if you didn't pass it before or if you are in physical science. So if you are in physical science this year, put that down as your course selection. And then if you did not pass biology in the past, you are going to need to put that on your registration form as well. If you enjoyed parts of your biology class and would like to go into a little bit more detail, we have a lot of life science advanced classes. The ones on the left here are the general classes, and then the more advanced ones we will talk about as well. Honors Anatomy and Physiology is the study of the structure and function of the human body. The topics you can see listed on the right are very much related to how our systems are organized and how they function. The second semester involves a cat dissection. That's kind of the big uh, part of anatomy and physiology that a lot of people take it for. And you do other dissections throughout the school year. If you're interested in anatomy and physiology, check with Miss Sefton about that. I'm fairly certain there's also a lot of memorization that goes into studying anatomy and physiology. And then you'll also do dissections of sheep heart and I think a cow eye is what I remember. Zoology is a general level science that has a lot of evolution involved in it. So if you enjoyed the topic of evolution in your biology class, this might be a good one for you. You'll look at cladograms a lot and classify different organisms. And then you'll also study other parts of the animal kingdom, all the way from sponges and worms up to mammals and birds, as well as aquatic biology. So that is an option. If you want more information about zoology, you can talk to Mr. Lackey about that. Ecology is another general level science course, and it could really be called environmental science, and that's what the textbook is about. In this class, you talk about a lot of environmental issues, including climate change, energy use. There is a large unit on ecosystems, which is more related to the topic of ecology. As well as discussions on population and human populations. So you can see the list of topics there. There's also a possible field trip to the OSU Climate Center when funding is available. And this is a class that I teach, so if you have any questions, talk to me, Miss Valentine, about this class. The more advanced version of ecology is AP Environmental Science. It's got very similar topics to what I just mentioned for ecology class, only you go into a whole lot more detail about it. In addition, there's a lot more field work and field trips involved. There are up to 6 field trips, and they are optional if you don't like to miss school. You don't have to take the field trips. However, you do have that opportunity if you would like it. There is no summer assignment for AP Environmental Science. There was in the past, but I wanted to emphasize that just in case anyone had older siblings that took the class and had to do that summer assignment. There is no longer a summer assignment for AP Environmental Science. If you are interested in a career in the medical field, you might want to consider taking the health pathway courses. And the PBS class, the very first one that you have to take, is meant to line up with biology. So it can be taken as a freshman or sophomore or even as a junior if it lines up with biology. The first class, like I said, is Principles of Biomedical Science. And I will say that this is an honors class, so keep that in mind. Even though it doesn't say honors, it is an honors level. It's biology based, and it is only for underclassmen, again, 9th through 11th grade. It's lab heavy, project heavy, and relies on cooperative learning, so working in groups. You also need to be very motivated, independently motivated as well. The topics include DNA, the heart, diabetes, sickle cell, and infectious disease. So again, this is the very first start of the health pathway course. You can talk to Mrs. Coral if you're interested in that, as she teaches this topic. The Human Body Systems is another honors level course that you would take after you take the Principles of Biomedical Science course. So it covers other systems that are part of the human body, including identity, power, movement, protection, and homeostasis. You use these skeletal models that you see in the picture to build the different organ systems of the body as well. And you can talk to Mr. Metzger if you're interested in that course. Again, that would come after you take the Principles of Biomedical Sciences course. Medical interventions is the third step in the health pathway way. So I won't talk a whole lot about that, but it is typically only taught at Central. So talk to your science teacher about if it's being offered this year, and then also whether or not you want to move on to the next level, which is the College Credit Plus classes as part of the health pathways. So these are taken through Columbus State University, or sorry, Columbus State Community College, and they include these courses here. All that information, again, you will want to get from your science teacher if you have already taken the first 3 steps of the health pathway. And now on to our advanced physical science classes. Remember that you do need to have at least 1 physical science credit before you can graduate. If you took physical science as a freshman, you're good to go. If you didn't, then you do need to take at least 1 of these classes before you graduate. The first one is chemistry or honors chemistry, and this one is a similar to the first semester of physical science if you took physical science. So you can see the topics there on the right, and then it is recommended that you complete biology and Algebra 1 before you take this class. There is a little bit of math, like I said, and if you want another year of math before you take chemistry, I recommend taking ecology, geology, or zoology first, and then coming back to chemistry the next year. Geology is a regular level science, and it does count for your physical science credit. So if you aren't somebody who wants to take chemistry, who isn't going to college, geology is a really good option for that physical science credit if you don't already have it. It talks about geology and how it relates to your life, the history of the earth. We talk about minerals and rocks, plate tectonics, and then astronomy, which is really cool, talking about outer space, and then natural disasters as well. And if you have any questions about that, you can talk to Mr. Few. Material science is another regular level science class. It's recommended that you complete chemistry first, though, because that will help you greatly when you go into these topics. So you can see metals, ceramics, plastics, composites. There's all sorts of different things that go into creating the materials that we use, that we have around us. And so it's a study in detail about those things. If you have questions about that class, you can talk to Mr. Rutledge. Physics is split into a couple different ways. You want to take chemistry usually first, but you don't have to. The regular physics class, you can take that and then take AP Physics 2 if you do strongly in the regular physics. Instead of honors physics, though, we now have AP Physics 1 as the honors physics option. And then if you choose, you can go on to AP Physics 2. With the AP Physics options, you do have the options of taking college credit or taking the exam at the end of the year for college credit. Regular physics is a general level course, and it is recommended that you complete Algebra 2 or are currently enrolled in Algebra 2 while you're taking the course. There is quite a bit of math involved in it. You'll look at motion, forces, work and energy, momentum, waves, electricity, and magnetism in physics. As we mentioned at the beginning of the presentation, if you're planning to go into science in college, they really like to see physics on your transcript. AP Physics 1 has a number of the topics that we saw on the previous slide, only it will go into a lot more detail, and there are additional topics as well. It is a first-year course, and it is algebra-based. So it is recommended that you have completed Algebra 2 or are currently enrolled in Algebra 2. It is a great course for learning to develop your problem-solving skills, and you don't necessarily have to be a math whiz to be successful. There will be another slide showing the reasons why you might want to take AP Physics 1, and you can ask Mr. Christ about this class if you are interested. Feel free to pause the video if you'd like to look a little bit more about why you should take AP Physics 1. AP Physics 2 is the next level, but it's actually just different topics than AP Physics 1. And so you can take this test at the end of the year as well to earn college credit. It's recommended that you complete pre-calculus or are currently enrolled in pre-calculus before you take that. Oftentimes, people will take this class as a senior. So Mr. Schmidley teaches this class, so if you have any questions about that, feel free to talk to him about that. And I think he had a cool little video to share here. There it is. Right there is one of the projects that you might do in AP Physics 2. Whoa. All right. Now, the engineering pathway, again, engineering does not count as a regular science credit, but it does count as a science elective. So you can put this in the elective part of your registration form. So let's talk about at least the first couple classes. Those are typically the ones that you can take at South. So Introduction to Engineering Design. This is Mr. Odom's class. You can talk to him about this a little further if you'd like. It's again, a general elective, and it does offer a chance to earn some college credit. You learn about the design process, basics of 3D design, modeling software, and other engineering skills. So again, it's an intro class that you would take before you would go into the next level, which is Principles of Engineering. You have to take the intro course first. You'll look at different mechanisms, build with VEX. I'm not quite sure what that is, but Mr. Holderman could explain it to you. Simple machines, gears, and electronics projects are involved. You'll look at material strength and structure, manufacturing, and then automation as well. And this is the second level of the engineering pathway. The other two courses are currently not offered at South, but that really depends on enrollment numbers. But once you've taken the first two levels of the engineering pathway, you could go on to these different courses, taking them at some of the other, or either at North or at Central. But again, we could offer it here at South if we have enough interest in the courses. The IB Science program is part of the IB program here at South, and you do not have to be a full-time IB student in order to take these classes. However, you do have to be able to commit to 2 years of the program. At the end of the second year, you would take an assessment, and then there's also an individual experiment that you will design and run yourself and then analyze the results as well. So that is a part of all of the IB Science courses that you see listed on the left. IB Chemistry is the standard level IB course, and you can see all of the topics on the right there. Those are in addition to, some of those are similar to what you would study in regular chemistry, but there's also additional information as well. The course is algebra based, so do keep in mind that you do need to have some algebra skills, and it's only open to incoming sophomores and juniors since you do have the 2-year commitment. Talk to Ms. Sefton if you have any questions about the IB Chemistry class. IB Sports, Exercise, and Health Science are for incoming juniors, and it is an advanced life science class. Do keep in mind, though, again, that it's a 2-year class and that there are a lot of labs and projects involved. There are some field trips and guest speakers that could happen during the year, and you do need to complete biology, or at least that is recommended. There are a number of different colleges and universities that will accept credit from these courses as part of the as for college credit. This class is taught by Ms. Frazier some years and Mr. Chris some years for the first year. They actually switch years on and off. For the 21-22 school year, I believe Mr. Chris is starting with the next cohort, and then Ms. Frazier will switch back in for the following year. IB Biology has both a standard level and a higher level option. This one, again, is open to juniors. It's a 2-year course, and you can see all of the topics there are very similar to some of the ones that you studied in regular biology class. However, they will go into a lot more detail, and there are additional topics. IB Physics is our last IB course, and this one is a higher level course, open to juniors since it's that 2-year commitment, and it's recommended that you complete Algebra 2 before taking this course. The first year involves kinematics, energy, circular motion, and waves, and then the second year is modern physics, which is relativity, quantum, particle physics, and electromagnetism. This is just showing the pathway for different types of IB Science. If you are interested in the IB program, I recommend pausing the slide, pausing the video, and taking a further look at some of these things that you could take in the IB program. And here is a slide of all of these science teachers and the courses that they teach. So if you have questions about any certain classes, you can direct those to those teachers. If you'd like to, pause the video while you write down any names that of the teachers that you would like to contact. And here is our Westerville South High School Science Department. We're hoping that you sign up for multiple science classes, and we look forward to seeing you in class. The pictures you're looking at are our Halloween 2020 Scrabble tiles, and the group photo of us in our science teacher is designed by Mr. Lackey. We also have some other fun Halloween photos and tie-dye day and twin day to share with you. We hope to see you guys in class, and let your teacher know if you have any questions at all. Hopefully you wrote down a few courses on the gray square in your student guide, and we'll talk to your teacher about those in the coming weeks.